Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about one of the worst major sports leagues in our country right now, the league that's gotten probably the most woke and anti-America too. I'm of course talking about the National Basketball Association, or NBA for short. The NBA league has been really pushing the line as far as getting progressive and political in professional sports. Now, granted, all the sports are doing this right now. This year is very different because it's an election season. There's a pandemic. There's a lot of political strife and riots and all kinds of crazy stuff happening. So it's definitely a curveball, but NBA has been doing this for a while now. They've actually been accused of supporting a Far East nation over America. Just last year, we talked about them last fall when they were kowtowing to this Far East nation who's done far worse things than America. They have lots of great human rights violations and terrible things in their history, but the NBA is kowtowing to them because they're giving them more money, and they're also far left. They're all about going left wing and progressive. These communists are like as far left as you can get, authoritarian too. And in addition, what they're doing in America is ruining the league with all this like progressive politics at the games. It's like we want to watch these games to escape this stuff, but then you turn on the game and it's like BLM everywhere on the court. All the players have progressive messages on the back of their jerseys. They're all complaining about Trump and stuff like that. They're trying to promote these terrible arrests gone wrong and use them to race bait things. It's really a mess, and it's really come to a head this week too, because today's incident, we're talking about some of the teams are actually protesting by not playing their games. That's right. They're deciding not to play these games, and I don't know if it's a forfeit situation or being postponed. I believe I'm hearing both things. We'll see who actually ends up forfeiting, which means you're just going to make your team lose because of what happened at these terrible arrests gone wrong, which seems really silly to me since almost all these arrests are very bad situations with criminals resisting the cops, fighting them, and then eventually having to be taken down because they're just wild and out of control. And it has nothing to do with race or injustice or police brutality much at all. Like, really, it's seriously messed up that they're latching onto this, but they are. And that's what we're going to go over today. We're going to talk about that story, talk about the NBA protesting these games and all that stuff soon. Let's go into the article. It says 3 NBA playoff games postponed as players protest social injustice. Ooh, social injustice. That sounds serious, right, guys? I'm not sure if that's going to actually play out with reality, though, but I appreciate them using that term, social injustice, social justice. Remember, the social justice warriors are still out there. People don't like to talk about them much anymore. It kind of became a dead meme to bash on them. That's why the whole anti-SJW crowd on YouTube is basically dissolved, including a lot of people that watch this channel because of that. But the truth of the matter is that stuff's still out there. It's still happening a lot. And that's why conservative channels like mine, all of these channels on the internet are still talking about it. It's not all the way gone. That's why we have to keep batting their bad ideas down. So let's go ahead and jump into the article, and then we'll talk about why they're so wrong. Days after the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin, the Milwaukee Bucks did not take the court as scheduled for Game 5 of their first round playoff series with the Orlando Magic on Wednesday, leading the NBA to postpone the day's triple header. Game 5 for the Oklahoma City Thunder and Houston Rockets, as well as Game 5 for the Los Angeles Lakers and Portland Trail Blazers, were also scheduled for Wednesday. Those games will be rescheduled, the NBA said in a statement. So this is actually kind of weak because the NBA is caving in and they're not accepting a forfeit. They're just delaying all the games because of this. What? Like, because Jacob Blake was shot? This guy was the worst person ever, okay? I know some people say that was excessive and the video might have looked that way because they edited it and took out the context, but let me go ahead and give you the full story. Jacob Blake is a career criminal. He has warrants out for his arrest for multiple crimes, not exclusively, but including this guy committed one of the worst crimes ever. This guy was, he's a terrible creeper. He totally did this really bad thing, and the warrants were out for him. When he got pulled over, the cops tried to arrest him, but he wrestled with the cops. Then the cops tried to use a taser, a non-lethal option, and he fought through the taser. He got back up. He went into his car, and next thing you know, the cops had to stop him there. So they fired their weapons on him. I mean, who knows what he was going to do in that car? First of all, obviously he's going to drive away or something. He's going to use that car to probably run. And that means he's riding around in a 4,000-pound weapon. That's a weapon. The car is dangerous. Driving it around is going to hurt people. Let's not pretend he's going to jump in that car and start driving the speed limit and following road rules or something like that. And let's also not forget that his children were in the back seat of that car. So the cops were saving those kids from getting into some kind of high-speed chase or something like that. I mean, I know it's super, super traumatizing to see a parent in their front seat getting stopped by cops, but that's not the cop's fault. That's the parent's fault. He should not be doing this in front of his kids. He should not be doing this in front of anyone. And that's just the beginning. I mean, I could go on and on. Obviously, this is an exciting and very, very frustrating story, but I think you can already tell this is a bad guy. And the fact that these people want to make him out to be a hero and say the cops are racist or something, I mean, this has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to do with police brutality and everything to do with people breaking the law, not following the cops' orders, resisting arrest, doing bad things, all kinds of stuff like that. That's the real story, and that's why it's so messed up that the NBA is delaying their games because of this. It's a complete joke. This whole thing is a total joke, and this is only the games getting canceled. We, of course, have already talked about and all seen how there's been riots in Kenosha where this place happened. Other places are riot in honor of them. People are dying in the streets. There's other shootings. Like, way more people have died in the response to this than even the initial incident. Let's not forget, Jacob Blake isn't dead. He survived that arrest. He survived that incident. So this wasn't even a fatal incident, even though it very well could have been. And also the guy is paralyzed, but it sucks. I mean, that sucks. I don't want anyone to get hurt, but you basically committed suicide by cop. If you go after cops and do something like this while they have their weapons drawn on you, you're really asking for it. I mean, it sucks, but that's just how it works. Like, everyone knows that. I don't know why your parents didn't teach you that, but that's where we are today. And now the NBA is supporting it. They're delaying their games, which is absolutely a total farce. I mean, it just goes to show that the NBA is totally lost. And in addition, this year is a wash. I don't even know why they're trying to do this little mini half season. If they're going to half-ass it, it's like, why even do it? And it also goes to show that these players don't really care. Like, they know this whole thing's a joke. They know that this is a half season. It's corrupted by politics and the election, and the whole league is basically gone under. Bucks guard George Hill was among multiple NBA players to question whether games should continue in light of ongoing social justice protests around the country. Hill said Monday that NBA players shouldn't have even came to this damn place, to be honest, because playing in the bubble took all the focal points of what the issues are. Okay, so I guess he didn't even want to start this season. I guess he wanted to get paid for nothing, or I don't know if they really expect to not get paid for the year. I'm not sure what's going on actually, but yeah, this whole thing, it's like social justice. What are you even talking about? This is a crime. This is a criminal who did very bad things to innocent people, and he was trying to do more bad things, and the cops had to stop him. So I don't know why you call these protests social justice. They're not even really protests anymore. These are riots. These are domestic terrorists destroying cities. Like, they're burning down businesses. They've burned down like car dealerships, video game stores, fashion places, like all kinds of stuff, like having nothing to do with the situation. Like, let me ask you this. These are protests for social justice. Now, what does that have to do with burning down a video game store in Kenosha, Wisconsin? How does that relate to Jacob Blake, a known criminal, a terrible, violent person who was committing crimes on camera when he got arrested that we all saw? So what does that have to do with a video game store or a used car lot? Like, those are just a few examples. There's lots of places that have been burned down and taken down in this, and it's just absolutely insane. I mean, I really feel like we're in some kind of Twilight Zone, or maybe a more common reference, it's like we're in a Black Mirror episode. The Bucks and Magic were rescheduled to play the first game of a playoff triple-header on Wednesday with a scheduled tip time of 4 p.m., but only the Magic took the court for the traditional pregame warm-ups, with the Bucks remaining in their locker room. When the game clock ticked down to a few minutes before the scheduled tip-off, the Magic left the court and returned to their locker room. Bucks players began emerging from the locker room around 4:35 p.m., walking past a group of reporters but not stopping to make any statement. Buck players Chris Middleton and guard Dante DiVincenzo were both dressed in their team issue gear as if they were ready to play. Hill wore a black t-shirt with a Barack Obama quote on the front and changed the narrative on the back. Bucks general manager John Horst briefed players around 4:40 p.m., indicating that the team would remain in the locker room for some time and might not address the media on Wednesday evening. This is just, honestly, this just seems like they're being big babies and they're using this as an excuse not to work. Like, I don't know if they're being lazy or they just don't care anymore, but it also, to me, is just a really bad look for the NBA. Like, why are you defending these criminals? Why is this the time to do that? Like, why don't you just do your job and play some basketball and maybe people can forget about all this crazy stuff? And I really think too, yeah, I understand like basketball seems like a silly thing to worry about right now, but they ruined it themselves. They could have made this fun. They could have made this interesting. They could have kept up the energy, but they're choosing to be like woke political babies, wearing Barack Obama shirts, talking about stuff they had know nothing about. Like these guys had know nothing about politics. They don't know anything about even like basic simple math. Like they're just basketball players. Like let's not pretend they're some kind of smart woke political activist. Like that's just them playing into the Democrats' hands. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Also hit that like button to help this video get shared, subscribe if you're new, and hit the bell for notifications too. You can also check out our new second channel called NoBS News. And until next time, have a great day. Hey guys, I just want to take a quick moment to tell you about our new second channel. I've recently updated and revamped the second channel, now called NoBS News. There I'm posting extra videos that I can't fit on this channel. I'm also doing some live streams, I'm playing video games, and doing lots of other cool, fun stuff for you guys. I want to give you guys more content on a separate channel, so you can go and subscribe there, hit that bell for notifications. I'm going to put a link below to NoBS News, or just search NoBS News on YouTube. It's our second channel. It's a lot of fun, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Thanks for your time. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.